Yes, good evening, Doctor. Thank you for making time for this interview. It's a pleasure to have you as always. Please introduce yourself, your names, and your specialty.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'm happy to be here. My name is Sarah Namusoga Kaale. I'm a lecturer at the Department of Journalism and Communication at Makerere University. I especially lecture courses to do with digital communication. I also do a lot of multimedia production, as well as courses to do with print media and the interaction between the old and new media.
Yes. So, basing on that background, I believe that from the kind of lectures that you have, all the things that you look at during your course, it deals with interactions online, social media, how people can leverage different online platforms to send messages and communication. So, to draw context to this conversation, recently, in the past 2 weeks, we have seen some online social media campaigns that the Ugandan citizens, of course, that have been spearheaded by Dr. Jimmy Spire, that have drawn many citizens to their awakening them to their realities of how they can demand for accountability from the government with different hashtags. We saw the one on roads, exposure of potholes in Kampala, and most recently we have one which is showcasing the health exhibition, the nature of hospitals. So, basing on the context of what you teach in class and what is being done today online, how do you what is your take on this whole social media campaigns that are currently going on?
Well, my take is that it's a good thing
Okay.
that people are speaking out and that they found social media, especially Twitter, as a platform to do that. It's very interesting also because Facebook was banned in Uganda, and before that we had the OTT, or the social media tax, that was making it prohibitive for people to engage in discussions on social media because the law makes it as good that people were doing a lot of gossip on social media, and so they were going to tap that gossip. So a year or so later, the tax was lifted, but then during the last election we had, Facebook was banned for mandatory use, I believe, and now we are left with Twitter. Previously, I'm so sure I believe that Ugandans did not make Twitter because of its reputation. Now, it's being pushed to Twitter, and we can see that there's panic that, and so having a person like Dr. Spire Songo rally the masses behind a cause like this speaks to the power and the freedom that social media platforms like Twitter can give citizens. Especially, I think that it works even better, especially now that most people are not exactly on Facebook, and so we are all concentrated on Twitter, if I can say that, and so the attention is in one place. And because of that, you find that the conversation is actually converged in a place, and people are able to share their views and to share their opinions. The other thing that I think is that it's also important to note that for campaigns like this, I think the person at the head of them matters. Dr. Sentongo is an influential person in society, on and off social media. He commands, I think, a big following because of his cartoons, but
Exactly.
also his film that he runs The Observer. And so, because of that, when he made this suggestion, or when he made this announcement on Twitter, many people were able to follow because he's an influential official person, and that speaks to the need for people at the head of such campaigns to have some form of good standing in society.
Exactly. So he's leveraging on the kind of following you already had, and now using now these digital Twitter Spaces to really push this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I agree entirely, and that's one of the things. That's one of the things that I believe that whereas we have the digital influencers who
Okay.
are kind of organically digital influencers, I think that for a while it helped for people who already were influential in society to be on, especially Twitter, because they then just carried that that following on
Okay.
their social media platform. The other thing that that leads us to is also the power of organizing. And I say this because Dr. Sentongo did not, okay, he gave prior notice, if I could say. He gave notice, I think it was a weekend,
Yeah.
Friday evening. He gave notice, told people to get ready, prepare your materials, and on Monday the exhibition starts. And so for those who are really serious, they got their materials ready. People took photos, and it helped also that we had the Kabaka birthday run on
Okay.
Saturday. I remember reading a tweet from him saying, as you go for the run, take as many photos of the potholes around Kampala for the exhibition on Monday. So he also used another technique to write on an already popular event that is happening. I think that's a good technique.
Yeah.
And so people took all these photos, people filmed all these photos, and on Monday, the internet or Twitter was flooded with these images and videos.
Okay.
But I think it also helped that the topic was at the heart of what people felt.
Exactly. It affects everyone, even the people, let's say in power, they still drive on these roads. We are all affected by the state of roads and the state of healthcare. So,
Exactly. So it was topical, and I think in terms of civic engagement online, that also helped, because we saw people of all backgrounds, journalists, corporate workers, managers,
politicians, technocrats, everyone was involved in this.
Yes, because of the relevance of the topic. So I think that that's helped. But the other thing that I really think that helps which now as a visual communication person comes to mind
Okay.
is the power of visual. You know how it's so amazing how you look at an image and you had never thought about it that way. And so people shared all these images, these videos. It was just so funny looking at them and seeing how bad those potholes were. I remember somebody actually did a brief of a number of those potholes, and I even told my colleagues at the department that for me, this has turned into a visual communication thing, because
Exactly.
without the visuals, I think the campaign wouldn't have been as powerful or as successful as it was.
Yeah, definitely. Visuals really complemented the campaign. It really brought us into light the nature, the extent of what people are actually trying to project through their communication. So the visuals were really very important.
Yes, which makes the point that has always been made that, especially on Twitter, when you accompany a tweet with a visual, it's more likely to be seen and engaged with than by people. So I think that for me, that was a good experiment to test this hypothesis out.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay, drawing from that, of course, this at a large scale, I'm sure these two campaigns have been one of their kind that have really read it. But definitely, Ugandans have been using social media and even Twitter before for different civic engagements. But just to now ask you, What does this mean going forward? Because we're now seeing that digital online spaces are now dominating the communication and engagement. What does this pose for traditional media elements, let's say like radio, television? How do they come in to also be part of this space? Because we're seeing now a lot of, like, all this, we've seen even government bodies react to this to these hashtags, and are now implementing some of the things, and even coming out to give updates on the progress done. How does traditional media find themselves fitting into where they are relevant in these kinds of discussions? Because they're still existent amongst us, and we cannot completely not, let's say, do away with them.
Yes, that's a very good question, and it speaks also to the complementarity of the two media, like of the two types of media. Because we see specifically for these two campaigns, we see that the traditional media complemented the Twitter campaign.
Okay.
First, by using their handles to promote the campaign, but also they ran stories, and they were, during the day, one of the media houses was actually following the campaign and even ran a story about the campaign, kind of like halfway in there. But also we saw radio specifically run news stories in their bulletins about this campaign, which also speaks to the fact that the two online and traditional media complement each other and
Exactly.
each other. But more than that, we saw that personality on especially radio also took it upon themselves to promote the campaign or to push the campaign. For example, the Kaliso Liso crew,
Okay.
who we all know, are very popular on CBS,
Yes.
had a segment of their show, and they, of course, their show is basically humor, and so they came up with an advert, kind of advertise the potholes. It was sarcasm, it was really being sarcastic,
Yeah.
but it spoke to the campaign, and that was their way of contributing to this campaign. Because the other thing that we need to remember is that in Uganda, radio is the dominant medium, and so it's important. I think that for me, I think that it was very important that radio jumped onto this campaign as well, because there are people who might not have been aware of what is taking place on Twitter, but now, thanks to radio, they also were aware of what was happening. And so I think that there's a place in these two particular campaigns. There was a place for both the traditional and the social media platforms.
Thank you. So what I get from that, in summary, is that these two they need to be complementary to each other. See how traditional media can leverage on the advantages that online platforms have, and also online platforms still benefit from that edge. Just like you've said, radio is still the most widely accessed medium in Uganda. Okay. So lastly, I would like to, from a digital communications expertise and angle that you have, I would like to know, if you are, let's say, the PR or the communications manager of an entity, of an organization that is quote unquote under spotlight, and this campaign, let's say, for example, the PR of the Ministry of Health or of KCCA that was being where this campaign was targeted, how do you deal with all this these online campaigns that probably as like you were saying, the visual components may not be so appealing, and you have to, how do you deal with this kind of feedback and all these messages coming in right now?
That's very tricky, actually, especially in these two campaigns. And honestly, I don't envy the communication people in those places. I don't. I wouldn't wish to be in their place.
Their shoes, yeah.
Yeah. However, I think that for me, anytime truth prevails, because we also know that these digital platforms have fueled disinformation.
Exactly.
And so it doesn't help if you try to ignore things, or if you try to disinform people. It won't help because in this case there was evidence.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that if I were the PR person of any of those entities, I would have done what KCCA did later in the evening of Monday, I think, which was to come up with that write-up, a press release of some kind, and explain our position as KCCA. Just explain and say what they said, which is, the budgeting, our budget hasn't been honored for a long time, but we understand, and then later, of course, towards the end of the document, they went on to list a few of the good roads
Yeah.
that they had.
I think
So some people
acknowledgement is always a good thing of the existing situations, and then providing ways through which you can, because completely denying it's you're shooting yourself in the foot. People have visual evidence, so yeah, that's very
Yes,
true.
it doesn't help. So acknowledgement, being truthful to yourself and to your audience is very, very, very important. And you don't have to say much, by the way. Sometimes you even gag somebody by just acknowledging
Yeah.
and saying, this
Promise to do better. We acknowledge that the roads are in a bad state. Yeah, I've been seeing
but
different
yeah,
reasons, funding and all that.
exactly.
Yeah.
As if they couldn't have explained that
Before.
earlier. Yes, so I think that there's also a lesson in there for this communication department. Going forward, I think they need to be proactive.
Exactly.
It doesn't help for people to provide evidence of all these potholes, and then you show us, you read
Defiance.
images or images of the Ginger Bridge. It doesn't help.
It doesn't help.
That is really one of those vanity projects. We are talking about everyday life. And so, like you said, sometimes just either ride on the tide. They could even have played the humor card. I think they really need an
No,
opportunity.
the humor card, it's a bit sensitive because people are very passionate about these things. So the humor card could work, could not work sometimes.
Exactly.
But
But
finding a way to
what
make it
happens-
humorous is also one way of how you can deal with it. And I think this also provides, as we end, this also provides like a game changer in terms of even from the lecturing aspect and PR practice and communication. These are things that now actually have to be brought into classroom, into the lecture rooms, because you're going to face these things. People, as a PR person, how do you deal with an online campaign that is targeting your entity or the kind of space you're in? How do you react to it? So I think there's been learning experiences from all different spheres of life, for PRs, for lecturers, for practitioners, for influencers, and I think this has been a really good engagement, something that we have, at least people have been able to bring to light and cannot be stopped by riot police unless they switch off, let's say, the internet.
Exactly, yes.
It's a
Actually,
different
at some
kind
point
of
I was worried that they were going
to switch off.
Twitter,
Yeah.
I was surprised that they did it, which also says something about maybe the fact that the powers that we have realized that sometimes it's easier to let things just boil over.
Exactly.
Because they do. Yeah, they boil over
And
life goes on.
and life goes on.
However, they should also remember that the internet doesn't forget.
Exactly.
Yeah, so as much as people are going to move on like we always do in Uganda, they shouldn't forget.
Yeah.
Because I know a few weeks from now, people are going to start demanding for accountability.
Yes.
This won't just settle. And so I hope that communication people have taken lessons. They'll be more proactive. They'll harness the power of Twitter and, use that to get buy-in from the users of these services.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to other other sectors that can be targeted, so that we need accountability from the various sectors that have been very dormant in terms of accountability, what's going on. And I believe with this has sparked something that I'm sure that will lead to good change.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Doctor, thank you very much for your time. Your insight is always very much valued. We look forward to hearing and listening from you more. And thank you so much for your time. Any last words as we end?
Well, it was a pleasure to talk with you, Edward. And I would like to end by saying that digital is very powerful if we know how to use it, how to harness it. But also, hashtags we've learned now are not enough. So let's harness the power of visual, like Dr. Sentongo did. Let's harness the power of visual. So have your hashtag, but beef that up with
Visual component, yeah.
yes. I think for me that is it. I've never seen anything like that
Yeah.
in my life. So yes, those are my perfections.
All right, Doctor, thank you very much and have a good day.
You too. Thanks for having me.